I think I'm getting used to this thing. Okay, so I'm going to do the first installment of these outdoor sort of vlog things, whatever. As you can see, the angle is not good. I think we're going to need a better tripod that will not get blown over by a fart. So we're already having some problems here. And I'm not going to do a video game video to start with, but what I'm going to do is, there's always that cliche idea of, you know, if you go through a life or death experience, you know, if you have been yourself dying, or, you know, any kind of like serious health issue, right, that it changes you and it changes your life, right? And I want to talk about how, obviously, the whole dying stuff did change me, but I want to talk about how it didn't change me enough and why. And that's what we're going to talk about today, as everyone that was hoping it was a video game video has now left. Let's go. So I totally fucked up. Not only did I fuck up not getting the sunset, I guess it started raining, but I totally had the camera fucked up on the direction. Whew, this is not going well. Also, during these videos, there might be some random Pikachus in here just to try to keep it interesting and people watching. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is, of course, you know what I mean? When you go through a life or death experience, something traumatic, whatever it might be, it changes your perspective on something to live through that. You know what I mean? And of course, it changed my perspective, dying and all the health problems I had. But I've never been able to take advantage of it. And that's what I was, a thought I had recently, like, excuse me, other people are able to take advantage of going through something traumatic like that, a life or death experience. Because after it happens, you're like, wow, I can't believe that happened. I had this terrible, you know, whatever health problem it was, I survived. Whatever experience it might be, now let me use that knowledge to live life to its fullest, whatever it might be. But for me, you know what I mean? If you even think when I had like C. diff or something like that, right? Like, I was not magically better after it happened. You know what I mean? It took me a year to recover after C. diff. And I've had, you know, permanent side effects from that. That was never magically, you know, that did not magically, I was not magically 100% better after it happened. And of course, I had already been sick for years before that. You know what I mean? So of course, you know, actually dying in the hospital, doctors like, you could die, whatever, that did change my perspective. And, you know, since 2008 and that happened, I was like, wow, the most important thing in my life is my health, is being healthy. But it did not make me healthy, right? Does that make sense? Obviously, you know, my life is so dedicated to fitness that I fake looking healthy to an extent sometimes. You know, people can think that, oh man, are you actually sick? I didn't even know, blah, 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 blah. But it didn't change the reality of the situation. I haven't been able to take advantage of that perspective. And I was even thinking that because you think, wow, look at last year. You know, last year, crazy enough, is probably one of the worst health years I've ever had. And I was just thinking, I didn't even like notice it because of, I'm always sick. And COVID, nothing was going on. But I was thinking like, man, you know, last year was probably one of the worst health years I've had. Crazy, dude, right? You know what I mean? Like the cluster headache stuff, you know what I mean? Get these cluster headaches, you know, some doctors say the most painful condition known to man, you know what I mean? More painful than childbirth, right? They use me in medical presentations for it. Like, I get them bad, dude. And last year, man, was probably one of, if not the worst cluster headache period that I've had in my entire life. And I think that's actually why COVID affected me so much, because not only is COVID supposed to affect, you know, people that have health problems in general, I was going into it not doing well, right? So that's the kind of stuff I was just thinking about recently. I thought, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, dying and all that kind of stuff and all these other health problems, it did change my perspective. And it's made the most important thing in my life being a healthy person. But, you know what I mean? It did not. Look at this duck. Don't assume it's gender. I don't know. What is it doing? Don't assume it's gender. It will cancel you. What are we talking about? Ducks canceling us for assuming the gender. I've heard that ducks have corkscrew dicks. Have you ever heard that? I heard that ducks don't assume it has a corkscrew dick. I don't know. But That's just kind of the idea that I had in my head. It's like, I've never been able to take advantage of this perspective because I've always been sick. I've been sick almost my entire life now. I've had extreme levels of sickness that should, I wish I could take advantage of. Certainly, perspective-wise, it's changed me. And, you could say for the better, I guess, like, oh, girls think you're cool. Like, I've had, have such a fake level of fitness and have pushed myself to such an extreme degree, despite the circumstances that, Jesus Christ, I have girls spill their spaghetti in front of me. So many weird girl stories for good and bad. I mean, just last week I had a girl come up to me, probably not even 5 minutes. You probably could have timed it 3 minutes. She just said, I'll suck you off. You don't even have to fuck me. I just want to suck you off just to see what it's like. You know what I mean? Not the first time that kind of thing has happened, right? And, I guess that's pretty cool, right? But it's not like all these situations I get to just magically take advantage of because my health is not good. You think about, I got to go to Japan. I'm lucky enough, that I know people that, are able to help me, some friends in Japan, they know I'm sick. So they're like, hey, come to Japan, we'll house you and we'll help you. And thankfully they were able to help me when I'm sick because guess what? Even while I was in Japan, it's not like my health did not go away. I was there for Halloween and guess what? I did get sick. Thankfully, Halloween is like a week-long thing, but I missed Halloween and the day before. Or it was either the day before Halloween, and the day after. Whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, obviously I didn't go to Japan to get sick, but that's my life, right? So obviously, the whole dying stuff, yeah, it changed my perspective, but it did not, I've not been able to take advantage of it because it did not fix all the actual problems, right? I'm not magically better because of that, right? It was just something kind of I was thinking about, right? And I even think of so much in my life because of that. I've not, even though I have this different perspective on life, you know what I mean? Obviously I would think that anybody, after you've been dying or something like that, Jesus Christ, little things in life can change your perspective. We just saw a duck that's a they. That's pretty crazy. I didn't know there was non-binary ducks, but hey, we just saw it. So anyway, little things change your life, like that duck. Big things change your life. So, dude, I'm making this video twice now because I cannot believe it did not record the first time. It better be recorded, but I recorded it the wrong way, I should say. Where are we? What was I saying? Oh, taking advantage of stuff. Even taking advantage of that. I have reached this fake level of coolness, right? That, for good and better and worse, sometimes girls and people think I'm so cool, right? Think about when my pictures were really being stolen so much on the internet, right? It was about 5 years ago when it was crazy about 5 years ago when that was happening. But that was also about 5 years ago. That's when I couldn't really walk. I had 4 months where I couldn't really walk. You know what I mean? People were helping taking care of me again. Like, I'm an adult male. And I had 4 months where I was basically collapsing and could not walk. My health had taken such an extreme turn for the worse. So I couldn't even take advantage that my pictures were being stolen all over the internet. Try to become famous from all these catfishing people, whatever the fuck it is, right? And then I think after that happened, man, I hope this is actually a really cool, it looks different in the camera, but this is actually a really cool turquoise color in real life right now. This pond, like lake thingy-jiggy. And then I've told that story so many times of that homeless guy that made me realize I was wasting my life. I had thought at one point in my life that, man, people think I'm really cool. Do you realize how fucking retarded this even sounds to say? People thought I was so cool. I was having so many girls spill their spaghetti in front of me. All these people were stealing my pictures on the internet. I was starting to walk again. I was starting to work out again, after, again, 5 years ago, whatever it was, health taking the turn for the worse. And I was using the free time that I had a lot of times when I was not sick to actually help people. And I told that story of me helping that homeless guy in the bathroom, and I gave him food and water, and he was like, well, I can't eat the cereal unless you get me milk or unless I have milk. And I just stood there and I was like, oh man, I mean, we could, I remember where the bathroom is. It's way too long of a drive where we are now, but I'm sure I could go point out the bathroom that I remember me and that homeless guy were talking in. And I just remember him said, I was like, where's the milk for the cereal? And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm going to come home. I'm going to have a bunch of random messages on the internet from people, from the video game community, from this fucking catfishing shit, whatever it is, who are talking about that I'm a terrible person, blah, 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 blah. Nobody knows that I'm even doing this shit in, I don't want to say secret, but doing it for no clout, doing it for no attention whatsoever, which is one of the worst things you can do. Like, Jesus Christ, why would you ever do something cool or morally nice when you're not going to get anything from it? And it was such a like, wow, I'm wasting my life doing this shit, dude. What am I doing? And I shouldn't say wasting my life. I guess it is wasting my life, but I don't want to say that from the perspective of that I was like actively seeking out homeless people or some shit, because that was not the case. But I definitely was being stupid. That's for sure. I should have just, any free time that I was not sick or in the hospital, I should have been fucking. That's what I should have been doing. Nonstop. But, I guess that was just kind of the thought I had, you know what I mean? That I just not taking advantage of life and the new perspective that I have on life, because it's not like it magically just got better after that happened. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but I had that thought recently. It's like, man, why can't I take advantage of this stuff? And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, it's simple, because the perspective is different, but you can't take advantage of it when you're not actually better, dude. I'm still in and out of the doctor stuff all the time. I still have health. They did not, perspective has not changed everything. A perspective can only change so much. And of course I say perspective is the most important thing in life, because who knows, maybe if I did not commit myself to as much health stuff as I do now, I mean, Jesus Christ, I could be dead. Right? I mean, who knows with the amount of shit that I have going on. But anyway, maybe if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. The end. Thanks. A thing I forgot to actually add to that as well. Again, I have to film this video twice. Is another thing about changing perspective is, I think about, Jesus Christ, of course, all the fucking health problems I've had throughout my entire life, dying, all that kind of shit. And the thing is, oh man, well, you should travel the world. COVID is a perspective of why you should travel the world. You never know when the world is going to close up, and who knows what's going to happen in life, right? And then it's like, well, fuck, yeah, I definitely feel that way. You know what I mean? Got to travel while you can. Obviously, that's a perspective you can easily have, but to take advantage of it, you have to be healthy. That's one of the things that scares me about traveling, because, fuck, dude, it's scary to be traveling to other countries, and you know what I mean, all these ideas of like, oh man, if I was so healthy and I could be traveling without a second thought, I wouldn't be sick. I wouldn't be in the health situation I am now and have been most of my life. You know what I mean? So yeah, the perspective has definitely changed, and it's always been changed, but it has not changed the actual health part of it. You know what I mean? It's scary. Even when I've been thinking about going to like Turkey recently, and it's like, well, fuck, dude, I don't know if I trust going to an Airbnb or some lower hotel. I feel like I should probably go to a better hotel, because what if I need someone to actually fucking help me, dude? Or even better yet, what if I need to know somebody in the area that can help me if I get sick? Because that is ultimately what my life is, dude. I ultimately am a person with health problems. You know what I mean? I can fake it as much as I want. I can have a perspective, you know what I mean, as much as I want. But ultimately, I'm not one of those people that, fuck, I only had one thing wrong with me, whatever. Fuck. Maybe it's a real bad thing, but it changed my perspective. And now, I do all this different stuff. My perspective has been different for a long time. And it's helped me do certain things, right? You know what I mean? I guess I fake looking cool to some people, you know what I mean? But I can't always take advantage of these oh, I look cool moments whatsoever, because it has not changed the actual facts of the situation, so to speak.